Hello there, how you doing? Jeff D, AIMCBizSolutions.com for your AIMC marketing tip of the week. So we're talking about your website today. How secure is your website? Are you spending time and cycles and money to make sure that your website's secure? Now, you might think to yourself, hey, I'm some Joe small business owner on Main Street in my town. Who's gonna recognize me? Who's gonna hack my website? You'll be very, very surprised. Actually, small business websites are more hacked than the larger, more enterprise websites. Why? Because the hackers know that chances are the small business owner is not thinking about securing their website, and it's easier to hit whatever it is, credit card information, product information, or your proprietary information about your business, right? Versus the enterprise companies that have teams of security engineers that make sure that that's their job, to make sure a website's secure. Now granted, the enterprise companies are in the news, right? Because they're big. You don't hear about every single second of every day there is a small business website that's getting hacked, right? And you see that a lot. And unfortunately, a lot of small business owners don't simply have the time to even think about it. But you have to think about it. That's one of the biggest things. You're on the internet, you got to make sure your website's secure. You lock your door of your house every night, or you lock your door, to keep out, the intruders. You got to do the same for your website. So what do you need to do? You're like, oh, Jeff, geez, I don't know. I don't have a list right now to understand what I need to do. First off, you make sure the software that's running your website's up to date. Now, that's of course the responsibility of your website developer, whoever that person is. One of the first questions I would ask, make sure ask them the question: are you using the latest and greatest web software, whether it's WordPress, Duda, whatever you use, and have the security updates in place? Ask that question. Make sure you're using secure socket layer, SSL, HTTP, secure HTTP when you're accessing your website. Again, another question for your website developer. If you're not a techie, don't worry about it, but just jot these notes down. Always change your passwords, complex passwords that people never, ever, ever find out. Don't use your city or your names or your phone numbers or anything like that. Anything that has something to do with you, and change those passwords on a regular basis. I would suggest maybe every 30 to 60 days of changing your passwords to access your website with your website developer. All right. And restrict administration access. Don't have everybody have admin access to your website. It should be just your developer and a trusted person in your company. That is it. That's it. You should not have everyone have admin access to your website, because then they can go in and do whatever the hell they want, right? You want to change the default settings of your website. When your website's built, in WordPress or other platforms, you always want to customize it to be able to be secure, right? So you don't want to usually use the default settings, because that's just the settings to get started. Here's the most important thing of all. Of course, they're all important, right? Back up your website. Back the files up on a regular basis to an off-site place. I like doing it to the cloud. I also like doing it to a USB drive if possible, and keeping that in a secure place. Because what if you can't get access to your files in the cloud? I would do both to the cloud and also to a USB drive, and have a plan. What if your website went down today, or you lost everything? How would you get everything restored quickly? Think about that. Have that documented. Again, your website developer can help you with that, and it's also very important to do that. And then, the other things you can use is use a web application firewall. So you have a firewall in front of how people get to your website to keep those bad intruders. So that's a lot. I understand that's a lot to think about, but it's something that seems to be overlooked a lot in today's world, where especially, because small business owners are good at what they do. They're not thinking about securing their website as they're making a sale, right, or closing a client. So definitely take a look at this list. If you have any questions, we have plenty of resources with AIMCBizSolutions.com. And of course, we have a great team, we have great partners. So don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you. Have a great day.